Okay, this will be an interesting one. Going to go there with that. Oops, a bit rough, sorry folks, I don't do that on purpose, folks. I don't like being rough with equipment, even though the company itself is shit, and I fucking hate Konica Minolta as a company, and as people, I still don't choose not to damage their equipment just because I'm angry at them. No, I'm not like that. I have enough fucking self-control to avoid that. Anyway, what are we photocopying? It is the history about kings and queens. So this is Cleopatra. So we're photocopying Cleopatra's face. I'm going to make an interesting video out of it, a piece of work of Cleopatra. Cleopatra. So that's her there. She was a huge influence back all those decades ago, or should I say thousands of years maybe. But I never studied this shit. I'm not interested much in all that sort of shit. But it's a nice picture to demo with. So let's see how we go with that. All about history, Book of Kings and Queens. I'm just reading it out on the back there. So let's see how Cleopatra looks here. She looks interesting. Wondering, going to make it look better. But she looks interesting in that shot. Let's just see if I can, maybe, we're going to try another one with the same settings. But there's Cleopatra. There used to be, I think, soap named after her, like bathroom soap. And I think, yeah, it was really nice bathroom soap, actually, from memory. It was advertised on television a lot. That was decades ago. Some kind of really, really milky kind of soap that was made with her name on it. This looks interesting. Maybe we could enlarge this on the vertical and just frame it a bit better, and maybe enlarge it slightly on the horizontal. I don't know. We're just going to quickly switch over. But yeah, she was obviously a very well-known ruler. So the horizontal is going to be 130 and the vertical is going to be 140. But basically, yeah, she was a big ruler in her day. Don't know what she was like as a ruler. As I said, I didn't study this shit. I never actually got into it when I was at school. I didn't like school much. School was a shit. I don't fucking like it still. It's too much. It's just too strict and boring. You know, it's not a place that I enjoyed. I got teased and bullied. Expectations were placed upon me by the teachers and my parents. So it was a really stressful place to be, folks. It wasn't a place I enjoyed. It wasn't a place that brought out the best in me. If anything, it brought out the lesser of myself. It affected me into my adulthood, and I still have to deal with the anger and angst of the bullying that I encountered by the other students. So I wasn't happy with my experience there. Sure, it was good. I learned my ABCs and my 1, 2, 3s, but high school was a terrible place, and I'm so glad I don't have to deal with it anymore. I don't have to deal with the horrible students, and the teachers were mostly kind. I got on well with most of my teachers, folks. Don't get me wrong. I got on well with my teachers. I just didn't get along with the other students that well. I'm actually trying to decide whether I'm going to go with this design or maybe make it better. I just can't decide, folks. We're just going to play with the buttons. But basically, yeah, I just didn't have much enjoyment. I didn't feel it was a place that encouraged being smart or, not being me. I just couldn't be myself without feeling the pressure that I was going to get in trouble for being myself. I just couldn't feel comfortable. I felt really bad, Let's see how that goes. And I really dreaded the school reports. I really dreaded getting the school reports. And they just really made me feel bad, It just made me feel like I wasn't behaving myself properly. I wasn't living up to all the high demands that the school was putting on me. I just couldn't tolerate what was going on. I just didn't know how to get around it. I used to try to hide my school reports. I used to hide, even more scary were the parent-teacher nights. And I definitely made sure that my parents never got the letter to go to a parent-teacher night. That would have been, for me, a parent-teacher night attendance by my parents would have been a disaster. It would have fucked me over, fucked with my head. My parents would have been very, very angry at me for what the teachers had to say directly to them. So I didn't want to, especially in high school, I dreaded the parent-teacher nights. So I had to I was always fighting against the students, and sometimes I'd get into a physical beat up because they just pissed me off and they decide they want to piss me off. And basically had to deal with the teachers trying to get me to do my fucking homework. Look, I've got disabilities, folks, and these school didn't know about it, and they treated it like it was all my fucking fault. I had to wear the fucking school life on my fucking shoulders. I had to carry it all on my own because I just felt so scared I was going to get in trouble. Always get in trouble. So I never truanted. That was one thing I never did, was truant. Sometimes I question whether maybe I should have truanted to get away from the bullies, but I would have been in trouble, more trouble than what it would be worth. So it was probably a good thing in retrospect that I didn't truant, or wag as they often called it. So, as the kids used to call it, wag school. A lot of other kids wagged. I don't blame them. Anyway, that looks really nice. I think now we've made Cleopatra look interesting. I think now we can call it quits.